Larry, really appreciate all your hard work. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. It is great to be back in Miami Beach in the warmth compared to where it's been in DC. I think it was 17 degrees when I left. And with so many leaders who shape the business of boating. Like captains navigating an open sea, the marine industry doesn't get to choose the conditions that surround us, but we do get to choose how we respond to the moment. For several years, we have been negotiating a complex wait-and-see consumer environment. It's been driven by some stronger than usual economic headwinds. Boat builders have encountered lingering inflationary pressures, elevated borrowing costs, and most recently, tariff uncertainties that have kept many households cautious. And those persistent dynamics have softened boat sales. Two forces have greatly influenced near-term consumption: confidence and affordability. Consumer confidence remains one of the strongest indicators for new boat demand. And when people feel stable and secure in their financial outlook, they're naturally willing to invest more. When uncertainty rises, buyers hesitate, which then pushes affordability to top of mind. Now, credit remains widely available right now, but borrowing costs have stayed elevated, which impacts monthly payments, and particularly for the first time and entry-level boat buyer. Now, on the business side, global conditions from geopolitical and social unrest to trade policy continue to influence how companies plan, price, hire, and invest. And now many leading boat builders and dealers are also taking that wait-and-see approach to investing until the trading environment settles. So much of the consumer market and the marine industry continues to tread water. And with that context, here's what we saw last year. Based on NMMA estimates, new powerboat unit sales were down approximately 10% in 2025. Just under the range of 220,000 units, levels that we have not seen since shortly after the Great Recession. Manufacturers and dealers, however, have remained resilient, and they've responded with tremendous discipline. They've tightened production where needed. They've managed inventory and staff levels carefully and stayed focused on long-term competitiveness and, most importantly, product and business innovation. Now, despite managing through this challenging year, the market did witness some bright spots in categories like aluminum fishing boats, personal watercraft, a seemingly undaunted luxury market, and a buoyant sharing economy across rentals and clubs. Meanwhile, the pre-owned market, that continues to help anchor overall demand, accounting for roughly 75 to 80% of total boat sales, remaining as an important entry point into boating, especially for the budget-conscious households or the first-time participant. And while unit sales tell one story, there's a whole nother story that we can't lose sight of. And the overall participation in the boating lifestyle is healthy and growing. Existing boaters and anglers continue to prioritize time on the water, and that ongoing activity is the major reason the boating and fishing sector remains the #1 driver of America's $1.2 trillion outdoor recreation economy. So what does this all mean as we head into 2026? The best way to describe the outlook is this: an energized U.S. consumer will energize the marine industry, and increased market stability will drive much greater business activity and optimism. And in fact, our quarterly survey of senior executives shows that manufacturers are already cautiously optimistic as we move through the heart of the boat show season. And the early winter show sales, well, those are displaying encouraging signs of recovery. Yet consumer intent, it remains mixed. Some buyers are ready to move forward, while others wait and see. You know, in times like these, it's really important for us to remember our unique strength. Boating delivers something Americans value more than ever: meaningful experiences and connection to family and friends and an unrivaled health and wellness lifestyle and nature. Boating isn't just a purchase, it's transformative. And the demand for time on the water is as powerful now as it has ever been. So if I leave you with one message today, it would be this. Yes, 2025 tested the marine industry, and the headwinds we've experienced over the past several years were real. But the industry perseveres, and we can move forward with confidence. As we all know, when others are treading water, those that act and prepare for the future, they win. So NMMA is positioning the industry's advocacy and market expansion efforts to ignite greater growth. But that also means we need to recognize the biggest risks we face: a changing and aging demographic alongside a whole new generation that shops, buys, and consumes information and media very, very differently. And it would be naive for us to move forward without directly addressing both these trends. Now, that's why the NMMA board, in partnership with MRAA, formed the Market Expansion Advisory Group, a collection of top marketing minds from across this industry representing both manufacturers and dealers. Their charge was simple but critical. Going forward, how should Discover Boating measure success, and how do we achieve greater market impact? Now, first, this blue ribbon group clarified the roles across the marketing funnel. Discover Boating's role is the industry-wide movement to attract new people to boating. Its job is to build much greater category awareness, and this shapes consumer perception. It helps new and next-generation audiences see boating as accessible, exciting, relevant. Lower down the funnel, manufacturers and dealers drive performance marketing and sales, converting lifestyle interest into consideration, rental, purchase, and long-term engagement. Dealers, they lead the ownership experience through onboarding, service, and retention. Manufacturers reinforce their brand value and innovation. Second, the group established a clearer way to measure success. They developed the Discover Boating Health Score, a shared set of KPIs that track whether awareness and interest and engagement and participation are all growing over time. It's designed to be a transparent scoreboard for the industry's overall momentum and a way for us to align all of our strategic investments around long-term growth. Now, the group also commissioned valuable new consumer research with Ipsos, and those insights will be widely shared with members and everyone in the room through upcoming webinars, tools, and reports. Now, you're going to hear from the advisory group in just a few moments, and I know you'll be excited about the progress that they've made on the industry's behalf. NMMA's other top priority, advocacy, also plays a critical role in expanding the market. This happens by keeping American boat builders globally competitive, promoting stable regulatory environments, expanding access to water, and ensuring adequate infrastructure investments exist for people to boat safely, responsibly, and of course, often. Those priorities guide everything we do in Washington, D.C., and across the states in the U.S., as well as provinces in Canada. So let's start with some recent wins achieved in the area of tax reform. The new year kicked off with the Canadian government announcing its repeal of the luxury tax on boats. This decision reflected years of sustained advocacy by NMMA Canada, our members, and many grassroots supporters, and it should help reignite sales in this important region. January also marked the implementation of the 2025 Working Families Tax Bill, widely known as the One Big Beautiful Bill. This act included pro-growth tools like protecting businesses organized as pass-throughs, keeping corporate tax rates competitive, and encouraging innovation through R&D tax incentives. Now, these reforms are benefiting businesses and consumers right now and should provide some needed fuel for both marine manufacturers as well as dealers. But tax certainty is only one piece of our growth agenda. America is the largest boating market on the planet. 95% of all boats sold in the U.S. are built right here at home, and 93% of boat builders are small businesses. And we are also a major exporter of boats as well. We exceed 2.6 billion annually. So to ensure our industry is not only surviving but thriving, we need a global trade policy framework that fosters long-term stability, consumer confidence, and market access. And that's why our members seek trade agreements with a nuanced policy and approach to tariffs that allow our global industry really to compete and to be in demand across North America and around the world. Now, this leads me to another policy priority: regulatory modernization. From styrene to vessel speed rules, the marine industry believes in smart, science-based regulations, and we are very grateful that the current administration also emphasizes a common sense approach to rules that impact both boat builders and our customers. Lastly, our $230 billion boating and fishing economic engine, it just doesn't work without access to water. Boaters require plentiful and open access, healthy fisheries, maintained waterways, modern marinas, and numerous safe launch points to our nation's public waters. Now, fortunately, we have passionate bipartisan advocates in Congress, the administration, and in governorships all across the nation who seek to also broaden boating access and the modern marine infrastructure that's so critical to our economy. And there's one more thing to be optimistic about this year. With the 250th anniversary of our country being celebrated in 2026, there is no better time to launch a stimulus campaign that energizes the consumer market and highlights the inspirational boating locales and activities that power our industry, which means the time is also ripe to advance legislation that invests in improved access to America's waterways, including the reauthorization of the Sportfish Restoration Boating Trust Fund, the Water Resources Development Act, and the Legacy Restoration Fund. All drive billions of dollars into infrastructure in our industry. It's also the perfect moment for manufacturers and dealers to promote Made in America products that enable extraordinary family adventures, carrying cleaner and more powerful propulsion, smarter connectivity and technology, bolder designs, and a deeper respect for the waters, wildlife, and lifestyle we all love. These are not ideas on a whiteboard. They are real-world opportunities and innovations being advanced right here in Miami at the Miami International Boat Show and at the American Boating Congress in Washington this May that will excite customers all across our proud nation and in the years to come. You know, the boating lifestyle we safeguard and the industry future we all create, it isn't something that just happens by treading water. It's something that NMMA members actively shape every day, every year, all together, which means the greatest chapters for recreational boating are waiting to be written, and they're being written right now. And that bright future, like the water, well, that calls us all. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a great show.